Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Conscious Collective. I'm Emily and I'm here with Lucy.
Hello.
Hello. And we are so excited to be here today and to talk to you about the spiritual connection between spirit and movement and why movement is so fundamental on your spiritual growth and your spiritual journey. This was a topic you actually thought that we should talk about, which is so fascinating given I'm the yoga teacher.
But I was very clear. It was like, we need to talk about this, but you need to talk about it, Emily. This is your subject. But it needs to be, I just felt that
absolutely.
importance. Yeah.
I love that. So let's talk about movement and why it's important and energy and emotions. Gosh, there's so much. So let's start with emotions. So emotions can be broken down as energy in movement, energy in motion. And it's energy trying to get through the body in the physical form. Because if you think about it from the simplest terms, this is my interpretation of life. That we've started as one. And consciousness has wanted to express itself in all different forms. And that one is light, it's pure. And it has come over billions of years, say, into this, even though what is time, into this physical form and into this dense reality. And now in our dense reality, we have emotions and we have feelings and we have thoughts and we've got this consciousness. And now that energy is building inside of us more than ever, wanting to be I want to say birthed into a new reality, because never have we ever been in a time that I'm aware of where we've got so much internal problems within our physical form, whether it's mental health, people going to the doctor saying, well, the doctor can't find anything wrong with me, but I can feel like a tennis ball in my stomach, this energetic block, but they might not even know energy, so they wouldn't know what it is. They're like, I've just got a pain here and the doctor says I'm fine, but I know I'm not fine because you do know. And really, that's energy. Those are feelings and emotions that need to come out and through the body. And there are teachers. And that's why we can get to a certain point with our meditation and our spiritual practice. But if we're not really doing the physical embodiment of what we are experiencing in life, it's only going to take us so far, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I think emotions are this energy in motion, and they're there to be felt, to be expressed and felt. And I think anything that is suppressing is blocking ultimately.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know if you agree, Em, but I think through movement, you can help move that energy on along with feeling it. And it's kind of a nice supportive way. It's almost like I'm getting this vision of like finding exercise easier in a swimming pool. I don't know why I'm getting that, but feeling like you're supported in a swimming pool when you're exercising. And that when you're doing a yoga practice, you're supporting emotional energy through the body more easily than sitting with that emotion and stagnantly trying to move it. Does that making sense? I don't know where that analogy came from.
Absolutely, but that makes sense.
It's making it easier. The movement makes the motion. Of course, it's energy and motion. So it makes sense to use motion to help move it. And it kind of sounds, kind of logic, isn't it? But I kind of would love to hear a little bit about your modalities, because I feel like the reason I feel called for Emily to talk on this is because she practices yoga, but her yoga is called energy medicine yoga. And for me, I remember when I first met you, I was like, genius, because I've gone on this energetic journey. And I just think to even name the modality that, shouldn't all yoga be called energy medicine yoga? Because, that's what it is, isn't it? And I think having that transparency about we are moving our energy through the body and this is what our body needs is so healing and what the world needs now. So share us a little bit, is that okay?
Absolutely,
a little bit about
absolutely.
energy medicine yoga.
So I'll share my journey with it, I think. That would be a nice thing to do. So when I used to be a stockbroker for a big client, a big company, private clients, high net worth, I came across a book called... I don't even know. Anyway, it was Donna. No, it was Donna Eden's book, and it was probably called Energy Medicine, and it was written by Donna Eden, and who's a delight. If you have not come across Donna Eden, you should definitely look her up. And basically, in the book, she was told, I think, at the age of 28, to put all her affairs in order, and that she wasn't going to live.
Wow!
And she
28.
28. She'd had a heart attack. She had different things failing, and she had 2 young children.
Oh, bless her.
And she thought, well, if Western medicine can't fix me, she's kind of like this. Well, if Western medicine can't fix me, I'm going to have to do it myself.
Good girl. And I love her.
And she just didn't realize that not everyone can see energy.
Oh.
So she saw that the energy wasn't flowing down her leg. And what did she do? My yogis are going to know. She started to figure 8 it, right? To get those energies flowing, because energy needs to cross over. It's got lots of...
figure of 8s. Yeah. I see that all the time in my practice. Figure 8ing everyone's bodies.
Yeah,
yes.
Harmonizing.
That's lovely.
And so she got it all moving. And I had this book, but because YouTube didn't exist then, I found in my dyslexia, and I'm studying all these kind of financial bits, and I didn't have the space to also just read like 3 pages to learn what the triple warmer smoothie was, which it would have been such a beneficial thing because it's relaxing our flight meridian, tracing it backwards.
What was the name of that again?
The triple warmer smoothie.
That sounds like a drink. And I want to have
but
it.
that's so Donna Eden. That's so that. Donna. Triple that's woman. Just so she's so real, and I think, and that's probably how she sees.
It's very soothing, isn't it?
It is.
Anyway, sorry.
It is. It smooths
warming
you.
smoothie.
And so, when I got into yoga, it was for my healing. It was for my mental health after burnout. And then quickly I met a friend who was into acupuncture. And she said, during your class, when I was holding some points on my body, I really relaxed into it more. And it's because of this and that. And, circulation, sex, pericardium relaxes the hips. And I'm going, oh, I don't know what you're saying, but I love it all and I want to know all about it. And so I started looking into Donna Eden, and I don't think I would have put in energy medicine, maybe acupressure points or acupuncture points, and just trying to understand a bit more of what she was talking about. And I came across Lauren Walker and energy medicine yoga, and she did a course. Was it on the Shift Network? I'm not too sure, but where the 2 of them go through the 5 elements, which is based in traditional Chinese medicine. And Lauren would do the regular yoga pose, and Donna would see her energy move and her aura go, oh, that's so beautiful. And you can just see how that balances you, and that makes so much sense. Oh, Lauren, I don't know how you're going to make this any better. And then Lauren, who had studied with Donna and had done, her training, was like, it's just so sweet. She's like, wow, I'm going to hold the points that you told me, Donna.
Oh, cute.
And she would do it and hold the meridian points and do something, and just and Donna would go, well, that just makes so much sense, because in this bit of your aura, something was happening. And now you've done that, you can see those flows are restored. Wow. And I was just inhaling this, taking this in so much. I just thought this resonates. And I was kind of like scripting like what they were writing and da-da-da-da-da. I was like, I need to teach this. So as soon as I can, I was trying to bring little bits in. And then lockdown happened. Everything moved online. And I must have been following Lauren at this point and realized she was doing teacher training. But only if you were already a yoga teacher. It was perfect. I met some amazing women in England as well that do energy medicine yoga that were on the training with me. And that's where energy medicine yoga was birthed for me. And it's just incredible. Lauren's written 3 books. The last one was Energy to Heal. And it's all about using the 5 elements to heal yourself from trauma. And it is quite a training, I've got to say. And I really thought, so with breath and movement and journaling, you can heal anything.
I believe that.
And the answer was yes.
Yeah.
Now, is that the modality for everybody? No, right? So let's caveat that. But how powerful to know that you can just make a sound when you're driving and get rid of anger. Or you can just do this, just relax someone behind their ear, and it's just calming their fight-flight meridian. And the more you look into this, the more it just kind of grows and grows and grows. Every single acupuncture pressure point on our body has a name. And so many of them were hidden because they didn't want people to know this like secret of how powerful our body is. So I'll be touching on one or two of those later.
Okay. Yeah, good.
But it's just fascinating. So that's how I got into energy medicine, because in short, we are using our energy as medicine to heal ourselves, to feel good, to feel wonderful. And we use our beautiful hands to move that energy through tapping, breath, sound. And it's just fascinating. So whilst people may want to be on their spiritual path and they're going to want to grow, they will probably come to some point where they'll feel resistance within their physical form. And that is their body, that is spirit, their spirit communicating with them. Like, you're still holding this in your hips, you're still holding this in their back. And it's just a great way to explore, get that energy to move, and to get that feedback loop. How am I doing?
Yes.
Our body is a feedback loop. It's always giving us information if we ever just pause to listen to it and to connect with it.
Definitely. And can we just touch on the word stagnancy?
Yeah, of course.
Because I just feel like that's what we need to highlight here, is that a lot of the time, lots of people do exercise, but lots of people don't. And we can go through periods of our lives where, we're not going to the gym, or we're not walking, we're not exercising. And, as well as our emotions building up, we can then not be moving our bodies. Lots of people don't do energy, let alone energy medicine yoga. Yeah. They're not doing anything, and there's so many people, because we have busy lives, they're not fitting it in. I've been a victim of that. I used to love gymming, but then I've gone through periods of my life where I'm just so busy that I've become more stagnant. And I would say people would say, Lucy, you're not stagnant. My goodness, you're up moving and you don't stop. And it's like, actually, I'm not making that connection between the energy in my body and movement.
You're not consciously moving your body with
in the way
intention.
that you do when you do like a yoga class, right?
Yeah.
You're not making that connection that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
And I think that's where stagnancy can really, say you're not doing any energy work, you're not doing any Reiki or any other modality, and you are just going through a really busy period in your life. So you're not acknowledging your emotions and your energy, and you're not moving in any kind of connected way. And I just want to highlight that can really I have a lot of clients that come to me, and my guides are like, they haven't got enough movement in their life or that connection there, and it causes build-ups that become physical problems.
Of course
it's just
do.
that. I just want to highlight that it's the stagnancy and lack of movement that really is so damaging. Yep. And that's why we really wanted to do this topic today, to just say that movement is really a key part of your ascension journey, because we know that moving through our emotions is important. Well, hey, exercise and movement helps you with that and helps it make it easier. So embodying these practices and doing these practices help you embody your awakening, really, because it helps you.
Because who are you truly awakening to?
Yeah.
Are you awakening to something up there?
Do you want to ascend? No,
or
you want to bring it in here.
Awakening
in here.
Your unique spark, your spirit.
In this physical vessel. This is the important thing.
In this lifetime.
In this body, in this life. And that's the disconnect that a lot of people, we're understanding it ourselves,
We're not educated about it. It's not encouraged. It's not talked about. No. But if you think of bodies of water, a stagnant body of water is disgusting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what's happening in our physical form. If we're not moving, if we've got any form of pain in our body, it's the energy doesn't have the space to move, because energy is waves. And that inflammation is a blockage, and that's being caused by something up here or something that may have happened in an accident or something. But clearly it's talking to us to get things moving through it. Yeah. So stagnation is a very important one, isn't it?
And so physical movement is the logical way to support ourselves.
Yeah, because you see a stream flowing beautifully.
I remember my guide showing me that with water once when I was having a little communication with water, and water was giving me all this beautiful knowledge.
So knowledgeable, isn't it?
So much knowledge.
Picking up
and it
so
was
much
showing
knowledge.
me stagnant water, flowing water, and unhealthy, healthy. Yeah. And that it was, of course, it was this time when I was being shown how important it was for me to move my body. Yeah. I was going through a period of more stagnancy than normal, and they were like, you're not feeling good. Because I was feeling, just really want to share this, I was feeling really low vibrational at the time. And they were like, the way, and things like, if anybody is experiencing depression, real low vibes, real lows, movement is so helpful. It's so
and we're going to do a
helpful.
trick for depression later on, because people that can see energy can see that the person's energy is not crossing over. So simple crossover technique is perfect
Can I ask
for your moods.
why that crossover, what's happening there within the crossover thing that you're going to share with us in a bit? What's happening with the...
Why is it not crossing over?
Yeah, why is
because
it not,
we're sitting,
and why do we want to get it to cross?
We're behind a computer and it's not flowing. Sometimes it's not even flowing forward, right? So I teach something, one of the protocols in energy medicine yoga is that you start with something called the wake up, and you wake up your energy systems. We've got 9 of them. So I can go into a lot more detail another episode, sure. I think. Yeah. But
it's fine.
Well, let's just take this opportunity to maybe touch on those things since they're coming up now. Yeah. So there was 3 things I was going to teach as little tricks and tips just to work on our bodies. And in energy medicine yoga, with the wake up that we start with, we always use our breath, breathing out through the mouth to move energy, because the breath is the biggest mover of energy in our bodies. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Yay. Okay. And we start by tapping underneath the collarbone. So come into your collarbone and just feel in there.
I feel like I want to do this with you.
Yeah, please do.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to. And guess what this beautiful point at the end of the kidney meridian is called? It is called Elegant House. Because we want to tap it for our vitality, but also to keep our house, our vessel, our body elegant.
I'm feeling
gorgeous
zingy.
Name. No, good.
What does that mean?
Energy is moving in your body.
I can feel it all in my feet, everywhere.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Why
so
what does that mean?
The meridian then runs down our body and down the bottom of our legs. And can you see there?
I felt
that is called bubbling spring. Okay. So I also teach working kidney 1, the beginning of the kidney meridian, and it's called bubbling spring. And my interpretation of why it's called a bubbling spring is because when that point is open and you've worked the polarity, something else I can talk about another time, it feels like you've got your foot on a jet of water. So
why did that feel that just then?
Because it's all connected. It's one. I mean,
so I was stimulating that connection.
The whole meridian, and because you ground a lot and you're really aware of your grounding, we are able to absorb Earth's energy through the soles of our feet. That's why walking barefoot is so important. But also having this point open is so important. And when your intention is strong, Donna teaches this over her clothes. She'll do it over her boot. She's not going to worry that there's rubber on the sole of her foot, and maybe that would, on a scientific level, that might interfere with opening up the polarity and correcting it and getting that energy crossing over. She just works it. And the more you do it, you can feel that push-pull, like you've got 2 magnets between your hands. And for the sciencey people, you're just using the trace elements of metal in your blood as a weak magnet.
Okay.
Right. To stimulate and open those points. So that's wonderful. That just goes to show how well you can feel energy moving in your body. Oh. And probably so many other wonderful things.
Oh, lovely. But what was, can we rewind?
Yes.
This could be me just being silly.
No,
what were we doing that intentionally for again? Because I think I've forgotten.
To wake up our body. To stimulate the kidneys. To have vitality. And to move energy. And we're starting here to move energy all around, because they talk about the meridians, and there's 14 different meridians. I see it as two, the central and the governing, that kind of starts at the roof of the mouth, connects with the perineum, one on the front, one on the back, over the head. And that's why breathing out through the mouth is so important, because you're stimulating the one on the roof of your mouth to let excess energy, stagnation leave and travel out. And then the other meridians, which have now been traced back to when the body is born and the cells divide, we're talking about from egg, sperm to one to the first two cells that will come out, and they become bladder and kidney, which is in the water element of the 5 elements. And then you move on to liver and gallbladder, and that's the wood element, which is spring. And it goes on and on. And so all these different meridians form as the cells divide. A beautiful Western doctor, it's called Spark in the Machine, excellent book, describes all about this. And I guess it's his interpretation, because some Chinese will start with the kidneys, that's the beginning. Some will start with maybe lungs are the beginning of their system. People start in this wheel in different places, and it doesn't really matter. The point is, in short, is that by stimulating here, we're stimulating the energy around all of our meridians.
So would you say that that's something that people could do as a daily practice, especially
Yes, guess when they should do it?
In the morning when they wake up, to wake up the body. I love that. Yeah. So especially, are we saying and suggesting that if people don't have like a regular yoga practice, that they can move the energy in their body with this type of...
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's tapping, right? That's like EFT.
Yes.
And then we move to our thymus, our immune system points. So we're tapping it. If you see someone unwell and the ambulance comes, they rub here. Right. So we're stimulating that. We're getting our immune system on board. Then we work spleen, and then we work our stomach points for grounding. And then we pause.
Wow. Okay.
We let the body digest
I was going
what
to say,
we've tapped.
You don't want to overload it, do you?
No, let it get those messages that are being received. And then we bring our energy forward, right? Because sometimes it can be moving backwards if we're not... If we're too much in our head and not in our physical forward, did they?
It's so lovely to hear you talking about this,
nice.
because I get bits of it downloaded by my guides, but I don't really understand it. So that's really interesting. I remember them... I don't know how you feel about this. You probably already know this, but maybe other people don't, and I certainly didn't. But my guides were saying, if you want to see your life, this is when I was going through this stagnation period, they were saying, if you want to see yourself moving forward in your life, then you need to get that forward, get your energy moving, the momentum forward. And I was like, how do I do that? And they were telling me to run, to go running, because they wanted me to get that forward motion in my energy field. And I was like, okay, I'd never thought of that. But does that make sense to what you know about activating your energy moving forward?
Yeah.
How would you do that?
Absolutely. So literally just bring one arm and bring it forward.
So almost
so you can just imagine people are coming for yoga with me.
I love this.
And they're saying, I've got to breathe out through the mouth. Huge yogi no. And now you're making me like do this. And now you're making me like cross over and touch my knee like a little child. Like, this is so weird. So you can see like there's a lot of resistance to it. But people leave and they just float out. So that's always divine. So yeah, we want to make sure the energy is running forward. We don't want to just cross it over before making sure it's running forward. We can't just assume, unless we can see our energy, that it's moving forward.
Okay.
And you only need to do it 3 times on each side. It's not like it's a lot. No. But the more you sense into it, the more you tune into it, you might be like, I need a few more. I need a few more.
And to get that momentum of it going.
Like my husband, if he has something he wants to tell me and he wants me to listen and understand, he'll look me in the eye, assess me, and then go, right, turn around, cross my energy over on my back, and then I kind of get a bit dreamy. And I'm like, yep,
this is cute.
Yep. It's just a way. And it's what I always will teach all the critical care teams I work with in the NHS. I'm like, if you don't have time to make someone a cup of tea and you want to do something nice for someone, just say, is it okay if I touch your back? And cross their energy over.
Can we hear more about why and what that means?
So
why do we need to do that?
Energy moves. Energy will always move. That's the nature of energy. And it moves in little wave patterns. But we can get into homeolatus, I want to say. Anyway, a homeolateral flow. And we just need to cross it over so that like the left side of the brain works with the right side of the body. We know all of these things anyway. But if we don't have that communication pattern open and functioning in our body, we'll fall into depression.
Yeah.
And we'll fall into that kind of spiral of negative thoughts. So it's a great way just to boost your energy, but to boost your coherence, right? So you can do it in a traffic jam. You can do it on a child. You can do it on yourself.
It's bringing the body into balance, isn't it?
It is balancing the body.
I do it
and
in Reiki.
If you do it and it feels good, you need to keep doing it. You need more of it. Okay. And I could imagine people possibly in this day and age needing like 15 minutes of just having their energy crossed over. I could see that being an incredible treatment for some people.
Could you, I know you do this all the time and it's really natural for you, but just in case it's brand new for anybody, which I'm sure it will be, could you just show us exactly how to do that? Is it just that? But I feel like we should be more intentional with it. Show us how you do it, Emily.
Well, I could do the whole wake up or, because it's quite simple.
How long would that take?
3 minutes.
Do it.
Let's see if I can, let's do a mini one. As Lauren would say, let's do a mini wake up. Okay, bring your thumb and your first 2 fingers together like a little beak, and you're going to come under your collarbone. We're going to tap. We're going to breathe in through the nose. You're doing it with me.
Oh, okay.
And out through the mouth. So that's where our kidney points, our elegant house. We're going to come down to the thymus, breathing in through the nose.
I feel like going,
and out through the mouth. Well, that's what I do with the kids when I teach children's yoga, the Tarzan one, because they get this too. I'm like, you need to know this as well. Doing? Helping our immune system.
Immune system, gosh.
All right.
We all need that all my life.
And then we're going to come down to the spleen meridian. It helps our digestion and assimilation of food, thought, medicine.
Need that too.
Breathing in through the nose. And out through the mouth, letting that stagnation go. Very nice. You can shake it off because you can sometimes feel that and come under the cheeks. And if you don't want to touch your face, you can do it in the field. That's how energy works. Right? Breathing in through the nose. And out through the mouth. This just helps us ground our energy.
I was going to say my feet. I'm tinkling.
Just pausing.
Gosh, that was so activating. My energy's like zinging all over the place in a good way,
Good. Okay. So now I like to take the less dominant arm because we want to keep our bodies as balanced as we can. So we're going to take the less dominant arm, draw it behind, your gaze can follow, and touch a knee. Other side, draw it behind and touch a knee. So you're drawing your energy forward. I like to think of like I'm scooping up Gaia's energy and I'm bringing it into my field. I just want to speak light language now. So bringing all those beautiful codes in, and then we want to cross it over. So hand to opposite knee. So we will do it like this, like a little bit of a march. If you want, you could do it to your toes, whatever you want. It could be to the elbows. It's that crossover. And then you could do it on your back. We'll do a few on the back of the body. We're not just like energy here. We are a sphere of energy. So you could just do a few on the lower back. It always feels so nice. And now we're going to come to our intention, right? So we're going to bring our hands over our pelvic region. We're going to set a nice little intention. So what's your intention?
Can it be anything at all?
Yeah, like something that you want to achieve in life. Okay. Or like I sleep easily. I relax easily.
I'm a
multidimensional
body. You're sort of communicating with yourself really and setting an intention with it.
Yeah. And And this works. And now we're going to inhale as we say this and draw it up the central line of the body. We're going to touch underneath the lips as if we're looking it in. And then exhale, arms go up, and you're spreading this around to every single layer of your auric field. Let all those layers get that information. And you do this 3 times. So again, not just the central line. Think about it. You're telling all your chakras, I am a powerful multidimensional soul. Ooh. And so we do that 3 times. And I can guarantee if everyone could see their energy after they do just this little bit, they'd be like, how do I keep it like that? I love this flow. And it's simple. Finger in your navel, finger in the third eye, gently pressing in and drawing up. So middle finger in the navel, middle finger in the third eye. It's called the hookup. We continue breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And you are stimulating your central channel. You're bringing more coherence with the central meridian up the front of the body and the governing meridian that runs up the back of the body, and they connect at the roof of the mouth and the perineum. And so this is the pose to strengthen your auric field, to keep you strong, to do before you enter a meeting or anytime you're anxious, big family event, if you think it's going to be a bit haywire. This is going to bring you into a lot of coherence. And when you've had your breaths, you can gently release. And that is how we will start every practice. And it's a great thing to do first thing in the morning. It's waking you up. And it was the wind down, Lauren's version, to put you to sleep that we did at the Radical Rest retreat. And that's why people were like so ready by the time we came to the Yoga Nidra. Their energy had been made coherent. And people will ask, can I do the wake up before I go to bed? And before I knew about the wind down, I said, of course you can, because they said, but won't it wake me up? I said, it will make your energy coherent. So if your energy is flowing in its natural flows and its natural rhythms, its natural cycles, your body doesn't have to work as hard. So it can digest, it can heal, and it can rest, because that's all our body ever does. It digests the food and experiences that we are giving it and stimulating it with, and it's healing us all the time. And that's why it's quite exciting when someone will say, well, the doctor doesn't know what's wrong with me, but I can feel it. It's like, excellent. It's still in the energetic form. It hasn't manifested into the physical form now. Let's get that energy moving. And I've been on walks when my knee has just gone. I've thought, I can't even take 3 more steps. What am I going to do? And I can hear all the yogis going, she taps it. And then she figures eight it. Well, I would work I'd work the polarity. So I'd flip my hand off the body and figure 8 it. And the reason I teach doing it off the body is because then you can feel the push-pull. And you can feel your energy move, and you know it's just not your hand stimulating the skin. And then that weave becomes like this white light that you could move anywhere. And then I go on for another half an hour walk, and the knee doesn't even bother me. I mean, 30 seconds to 60 seconds, that quickly.
Amazing.
It's coherence. And that's why energy is so important in our spiritual practice. I mean, it's part of the yogis would do yoga so that they could sit in meditation without any pain.
And I think it's all linked to vibration and frequency, because we are, by doing this, by moving that dense frequency, we are then lifting ourselves into higher vibrational frequencies. And it's when we're in the higher vibrational frequencies that we can connect with our higher self, with our spirit guides. It just becomes so much easier. And obviously we're in that coherence, like you said, we're in that more loving frequency by doing this type of work.
Absolutely.
I can see why that it's essential in any kind of spiritual awakening. I also like the idea of, harmonizing our energies and the balance between the left and right sides of our bodies, especially our brains, when it comes to the spiritual awakening and spiritual journey, because we need to have balance in our third eye. We need to have balance in our crown. We don't want to burst it open and be so connected to our spirit guides that we're not able to embody it. I think this is what we're saying, isn't it? It's about being able to, when we start working with our physical bodies and understanding the connection to the energy in our physical bodies, then we can embody this beautiful spiritual awakening that we're experiencing and actually enjoy it in our everyday lives. That's how to do it. Movement is important. It's so important.
Because we've come to, I believe at this time, to be spiritual beings, but in this physical form, and to kind of become enlightened to a certain degree. We've got to shed that residue and that resistance in our body, because it's that resistance, that pain that's holding us back or helping us heal generational trauma.
Well, I was just about to say, most of us who have come here at this time,
there's so much trauma that's trapped in our bodies.
We've all got it to do.
And it's so
on
often
our to-do list. It's our purpose, and that's going to help us. It's like that swimming pool to help us while we're exercising. It's
exactly
that the movement is how to support our awakening and moving through these dense emotions of generational trauma and collective trauma. And we're doing it on behalf of the collective and our lineage. And it's big work. It's really big work and heavy, dense. So we need help through that movement to move it on.
Yeah. Absolutely. And one thing that has kind of come up, which I thought I would touch on, is that I don't go around adjusting people in yoga.
Okay.
And again, it's kind of breaking one of those norms, rules, laws of yoga that, you want to be as straight as possible and you want to be as aligned as possible, because then your energy will flow. Right. But if you're not moving into that by shifting the energy in your body that's keeping you in your current posture, you're not going to come into your correct alignment. So who am I to force you into a certain position and hold it? Because the rest of your body's going to go, trauma, trauma, trauma. I hate this. I hate this. This isn't comfortable. This doesn't feel right. So if you let everyone kind of flow into it and move into it, they're going to naturally be shifting their energy, clearing their energy, and they will come into their alignment. They'll become into these straighter
I want to say
poses.
Like the next level of alignment that's right for them.
Well, exactly. And also, energy is not a straight line. We've got so many curves in our bodies. Our bones aren't straight. They're... So
that makes so much sense, Emily.
But they will become more aligned by just working with their own energy.
Yeah,
so why push the process?
Yeah, I love that, That's really nice. Yeah, because it kind of defeats the object, doesn't it? Forcing yourself. Flow, don't force.
Yeah, because but hopefully to question. So before I was doing energy medicine yoga, which is kind of cute. It's called Emmy Yoga.
I know. It's actually the name of it, right?
I know. So I always feel a bit like...
I always feel like it's your brand. When I first met you, I thought you had called it that.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I really did.
I know
I'm
people
sure other
do.
People do.
People do.
Yeah, I was like, Emily's Yoga is just... I thought that was the name of your yoga class.
It's just what I called it, Emmy Yoga.
Emmy Yoga.
But no.
Sorry.
And, but I was teaching mindful hatha yoga.
Okay.
And because I really wanted people to be like, but okay, I'm moving my hand in this little way, but... I want all those tendons to be stimulated. I want you to think of every little bit that, I can feel it here. Oh, I can't feel it here. Oh, it's a little sore here. Oh, it's not sore there. All of that information, I really wanted them to be embodying that mindful element. So it just, this energy medicine yoga flowed beautifully into it. And
I can imagine.
It's just a joy to teach. And now I've kind of moved into the more corporate 3D world. I've never been so grateful to be a yoga teacher in my life. Like I knew I loved what I did. Like I knew I loved it. And I was appreciative and grateful. But now I love it on a whole new level.
You say it to me quite regularly. She says, she'll message me and she'll say, and now I'm off to teach yoga and I need it so much. I need it so much. I need it so much. Don't you? And then it just brings you back into, I notice it as your friend. You'll then leave a message and, leave a message so feeling a little bit stressed and anxious, bless you, in more 3D. And then you'll come out of your class that you've taught and you're like, wee, back to playful, high vibrational Emily again. So you're living proof that how movement helps you embody the 5-dimensional frequencies, And
should we keep this really real?
What? Yes. You can be as real as you like. Share.
So that energy tennis ball sitting here is sitting within me. Okay. And it's my anxiety and it's in my stomach. And it's that fire element when you know about like where all these meridians sit within the 5-element flow, everything makes so much more sense.
I bet it does. So it must be like reading a map of yourself.
So much logic to it.
Yeah.
But anyway, it sits there. It's energetic. I had an endoscopy and they just said, how heightened, how sensitive are you? Because we had to look for so long to find anything wrong with you. The way you were describing it makes no sense to what we found. We said, that's the beginning of the beginning of the beginning of maybe a stomach ulcer. And I'm like, I'm dying. There's something wrong with me. Do I have cancer? Just completely
I've experienced a very similar thing. We've never shared this. Oh my gosh. We'll talk about it later. But I get you. I get you.
And I really wanted to have some fun on Sunday and I went into meditation and Amaterasu came through, this beautiful Japanese guide, and she was in a cave and she helps people out in the light to shine their light. And she said, your pain, and showed me it's because I've got things that need to be birthed. And I've got this conscious collective, which I just feel is my soul work that needs to be birthed.
So lovely.
And she says, I will sit with you and I will hold your hand every night as you write down all these things. And as she was saying it, I could just feel it dispel and go and go. And I just knew she was right. And so our bodies are always talking to us. And sometimes we can get there on our own and sometimes we can't. But now I know. I now have the action. And she goes, as this is birthed, it will leave. That anxiety will no longer reside in your body. And so it's just a gift to have that information. And I'm grateful and thankful to you.
And that's because of the communication that you have with your body, because of all of the energy, medicine, yoga, and all of these things that have opened up your channel of communication with your body and your channel to your higher self and other beautiful spirit guides and things like that. And, this is why we're saying that movement is so important on the spiritual path.
Yeah, and it is the desperation to heal too. It is that I want to be better. I want to be the best version I can be in this life. I want ease and I want joy and I want everyone to have it. Yeah. Everyone deserves that. And if we can do it with a little bit of yoga to get their body moving, if we can do it with a bit of talking and just changing the way people view and perceive things and normalizing energy, it makes my heart sing.
Yeah.
Being here with you makes my heart sing. This is the joy. This is the work.
Spiritual buddies. It really is. I can do it on my own. I need you, but it's great. I mean, it just really helps, doesn't it, to talk about these things.
Well, it also just improves the morphic field, the morphic resonance, all of this. The more it's talked about, the more the collective's going to change. And I keep hearing people saying, I don't listen to the news anymore. I don't listen to the news anymore. And it's just wonderful.
It is.
So,
with that, shall we bring this episode to a close?
Yes, and just remember, just cross your energy over. Just cross your energy over. If you're stressed, just soothe behind your ears. You can take it down the shoulder, off the fourth finger. You can go onto my YouTube channel and look at me doing the energy medicine wake up, doing the triple warmer smoothie, but just soothing behind your ears. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. Just get that energy moving, vocalize it, sing it, move your body. And we've got so much love for you.
Thank you.
So much love. Until next time, joyful blessings.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us today. Please remember to like and subscribe. If you want to work with us directly, see the show notes below. Thank you.